Buon Natale, Merry Christmas. As a young bambino growing up in an Italian-American family, I saw with my very own eyes and with the taste buds in my tongue what it meant to have a feast around Christmas time. And that's why today we're doing the Feast of the Seven Fishes. Say it in Italian. La festa dei sette pesci. It's an Italian Christmas Eve feast with 7 different fish platters, each prepared in its own special way. But we're gonna do it a little different, Frankie style. With a festive holiday table filled with lovingly prepared dishes that offer a little something for everyone. I fell in love with my wife in NYC, and she loves a good New York deli. So I created a light smoked whitefish salad with a crispy everything bagel seasoned frico. Then I've got the easiest small dish in the world, cold buttered anchovy toast. Just 3 humble ingredients, but they make for a complex bite. Our main event is a dramatic whole salt-baked red snapper stuffed with fresh herbs and encrusted in salt that we crack open at the table to reveal our masterpiece. It's kind of like opening a present. Bringing vibrant Mediterranean flavors to the table is a light, flaky Trout Scapece with caper and a festive olive salsa verde. Cowabunga! The next dish is Aqua pazza, meaning crazy water. And if you've ever hosted a Christmas dinner, you know exactly why this dish makes sense. And it's very delicious. I'm finishing up with pasta con le sarde, bringing bold, briny, and sweet flavors that just may need a special touch. So my mom's gonna swing by early to give me a hand.
Brava, Mom.
I better chill the champagne. The 7th dish you're gonna have to hang around for. It's a very special surprise. It's the Feast of 7 Fishes, Salenza style. Let's get cooking. I'm kicking off the holiday feast with a dish my wife Heather loves, smoked whitefish salad with a crunchy Italian twist. So when you think of the Feast of 7 Fishes, what comes to my mind is the impossibility of getting 7 dishes on the table that are all hot at the same time. All you gotta do is do it once and you realize it's just not possible unless you're a restaurant. I'm not a restaurant, you're not a restaurant. So I like to have some dishes that can be room temp. 1 celery rib, a handful of dill goes so well with fish. So I was born in New York City, my wife Heather was born in New York City, she's Jewish, I'm Italian. We really are the same corporation in different divisions. Sundays were bagel and smoked salmon, and then whitefish became a thing I enjoyed very much. And obviously her family did the same thing too, because that is their culture. All right, let's get these chives in here. Chives, dill, celery. I'm gonna come in with some nice whole grain mustard. Give it a little zing here. And we'll do some mayonnaise as well. It is the binder. It is what makes a whitefish salad a whitefish salad. Some cornichons, baby pickles. Get some of these in here. We'll chop them up a little bit. We don't want pieces that are too big. So the Feast of the 7 Fishes, I didn't really hear about it till I was a teenager, but my family did do fish on Fridays all year long. And then we heard about the Feast of the 7 Fishes, and we started trying to do it. And that's why I'm telling you, don't try to do 7 hot dishes. It's impossible. All of them end up being kind of mediocre. Instead, I think you should focus on things that can be served cold, so that the things you want to serve hot can be served actually hot. Some say the Feast of 7 Fishes doesn't even exist in Italy. Others say it just has to be an odd number of fishes. I've done the Feast of 3 fishes, 5 fishes, 7 fishes. Okay, we've got the mayo, we've got the mustard, just a cheek of lemon here. I love that description. Dropping the lemon in the bowl. Let me set the scene very broadly. Why did my ancestors and potentially your ancestors leave Italy and come to the United States? Because they were searching for a better life. Italy was very, very poor. And so when you think about the Italian-American dishes that exist, all of them are abbondante, right? They're big, they're over the top, because they came from a place that was impoverished, and then America was really on the up and up, and now all of a sudden, food was cheap and plentiful. So like, from that perspective, the Feast of 7 Fishes makes a lot of sense, right? This is literally a smoked whitefish. Yeah, it's smoky, it's clean, you really taste the wood smoke. And then when you add things like mayonnaise and cornichons to it, it's very subtle and very fresh and nice. All right, that's pretty good. Nothing like cold whitefish on a cold day. Let's mix it up. Bottom to top. Since it's most likely an American invention, then I think we can really make it our own. Because traditions and history, they evolve as time passes, as the world gets smaller, you know? Okay, that's gorgeous, yeah? Let's take a bite, see how we're doing. Perfect. Tastes like New York deli, tastes like every Sunday. So good, bright, fresh. I love it. Coming up next, we're gonna wrap this dish up with a crispy everything bagel frico. I'm gonna finish my smoked whitefish salad with something very Italian. A frico chip, which is just a crunchy Parmesan cracker, but I'll be adding the flavors of an everything bagel. So coming in with some Parmigiano Reggiano, you wanna get a nice, even layer all around, no oil, no nothing, just good temperature. Listen, if we had a bagel out at the Feast of Seven Fishes, people might actually question the new direction that I'm trying to push this into. But by having the flavors that one would have on a bagel, we get to bring the idea of bagel lox, whitefish into the Seven Fishes without visually being like, wait a minute, what's going on here? So once the cheese starts melting a little bit like this, we can come in with our everything bagel seasoning. You can make it your own, or you can buy some. It's sesame seeds, some garlic chips, sometimes black sesame, some flaky salt. Sometimes they put caraway in there. You know, just eating it on its own, one of the joys of life, truly. So we're on like a medium-ish heat here, and the frico will tell you when it's ready. I think a really paramount thing to put into your head is that the Feast of the Seven Fishes does not mean that each individual dish needs to be a feast. The feast is all of them together. So with that in your mind, each dish can be small. You can have a whole bunch of appetizers and one show-stopping dish. That's still a feast. And so this falls into that app category. Okay, I'm coming around. You want to be delicate because it really doesn't harden until it dries out. We are going to be breaking this apart. So if it folds on itself, like when you make a pizza bat and it turns into a calzone, that's okay. I think we're ready. Coming in, coming in, coming in. Whoop. That worked out well. Get your frico on. Here we go. So, it's this cooling process, allowing air to circulate underneath, that allows this frico to harden, that makes it break like a potato chip. If it's left sort of in a moist environment or you put it right onto a cutting board, it's gonna steam, it's gonna stay kind of like this. And so the technique is really just let it air dry. So here we go. Coming in with some whitefish salad. Burr, 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 burr. Fantastico. And this piece went overboard, and now it has been saved. All right, let's see how we're doing here. So it still has some flex to it, as you can see, but it's already way stronger than it was in the pan. I'll bring it out into the snow for a second and let it dry. Okay, so we've got our frico here. I think I want to go with some big pieces here, because what I'm trying to do is mimic the Santa Maria. So there we are. And you know what? Honestly, this piece over here, not looking like it belongs. Much better. Crispy, salty, the flavors of a New York deli, things I grew up with, things my wife Heather grew up with. So there it is, the whitefish salad with the Parmesan frico. It is a cold appetizer. Our feast has begun. Let's move on to another dish that is perfectly served at room temperature, Trout Scapece. I'm hosting the Salenza family holidays, so that means it's an Italian fish feast. Next up is the colorful Trout Scapece, a dish that's usually fried, but we're gonna lighten it up with an easy poaching liquid. Poaching is a really gentle cooking method. And it gives us an opportunity to pull out some freshness of the fish. So we've got some water, just enough to cover all the fish. We'll come in with some white vinegar. This cuts through any off flavors, but even if you have the freshest fish, which we do, it's just gonna bring out some awesomeness, and lemon does the same thing. We've got a little bit of salt going in here. And so what we've got now is a really gentle poaching liquid. It's got a little bit of acidity, it's got a little bit of salt. It's gonna let the fish sing, "I am fresh and delicious," and sort of accentuate all that awesomeness. That's it. We'll bring it to a simmer. Having a little olive tapenade thing on top of a poached fish is delicious. It's easy, it gives you visually a whole bunch of things to look at, it gives texture. So we're gonna go with some scallions. That's gonna go in this bowl. You know, having that mild raw onion flavor, I think goes really nicely with a very mild fish. It kind of punches. Now some parsley. Get this through as best you can. Anchovy. Does this count as one of the 7 fishes? Potentially. I always find that the ones in the glass jar, in general, are of much higher quality, although there are great anchovies that come in tins. And if you've only ever had a mediocre anchovy, I understand why you don't like anchovies. Go for the good ones. So this gives us a little bit of salinity, some salt, a little bit of meatiness. We've got some Castelvetrano olives and some calamatas. Together, it accentuates the flavors of the sea. Okay, olives in. All right, Fresno chili. You know, to have a pop of that red in there is really beautiful. Obviously, the heat is good too. If you just cut to the side of the chili a little bit, you can kind of be deveining it in the moment, sort of leaving this skeletal structure in the center, you see? And now from here, you can just kind of take out the extra seeds. All right, we can go this way. It matches my shirt. It's beginning to feel a lot like a Christmas. There we are. Olive oil is gonna bring it all together, a fair bit of it, the good stuff. Some balsamic vinegar, and before I add some salt, I'm just gonna give it a little stir and a little taste. Because we've got anchovies, which are salty. We've got olives, which are salty. Come right here, right up here in this spot where we're not shaking hands with anybody. Sweet, delicious, perfect. All we gotta do is poach that fish now. You know, when there's super cold weather and a whole bunch of snow, if you confine yourself to a hot tub, it's a great experience. Speaking of hot tubs, that's exactly where our trout will be going right now. We've got our vinegared water. It's slightly salted. We're gonna put our trout in there. It's nice to have a freshwater fish in addition to some saltwater fishes, I think. Keeps the variety high. Okay, just make sure they're all fully submerged. The trout is a low-fat fish, and it's very, very thin, so it's gonna cook really, really quickly, and you can basically tell with your eyes if it's done or not. I think we're there. Joy to the world. Let's get one fillet out first and we'll sort of do a little test and see if we're there. Now, we do have skin. Devo operare. It's time to operate. Just fish spatch that across. So this kind of reminds me of my dad. He does real craftsman work with his hands, you know? And so as I'm doing this, I want to make sure that I really focus and do a good job, because that's what he would do. So we're done. We can break it maybe the fat way here, get a nice little shot inside. We can see that we are fully cooked through, and I don't want to go a second longer. So the rest of these fillets come out. Oh boy. This here. You know, we've got that whitefish salad and it's such small pieces. So let's allow these to be a little bit bigger. Flipping it over, boom. Lose this. The tapenade has had a moment to marinate, which is really nice. And now it will marinate our fish ever so slightly, which is great. Ah, festive, beautiful, clean. Okay. Let's see if we can excavate some flavor without anyone knowing. I think we can get in here. Can grab a little piece of fish, a little bit of sauce. No one will know. Perfect. Because the fish is so thin, it's already lukewarm. It's so refreshing to have something that is not piping hot, because variety is the spice of life, but also it's what ensures a successful 7-fish feast. So we've got 2 dishes that are not time sensitive because we can serve them cold, and the star of the show is coming up next, a salt-baked red snapper. Wait till you see this. So here we are, the showstopper of our feast. It's the red snapper that's encrusted in salt. It doesn't mean it's gonna be salty. It's an encasement to allow the fish to steam while being ever so slightly seasoned by the salt. Now, how do we do this? By adding egg whites and some water to the salt. That way it hardens and we can crack it with a hammer. So we'll go with some whites, get a little bit of water in there. And we're just gonna add a little black pepper. Makes it look pretty. And we're gonna mix it up. I remember the first time I had this, my uncle Andrea in Italy made it for me, and he used a coarse salt, and it was really tasty. I realize now the coarse salt was so that the fish didn't become over-salted. But then we were shooting a TV show in Hawaii, and I had a chef do it, and he put the egg whites in there, and I was like, oh, that makes so much sense. So this is about 4 cups of kosher salt, which is a lot, but again, we're not eating all the salt. So that's good. Nice wet sand. I feel like we could build a sand castle out of this. Let's create a base right here to set our fish on. Take about 1/3 of your mixture. And you don't have to be really precious about this. And just make it have a little divot sort of in the middle so the fish doesn't rock back and forth, okay? And here we've got a gorgeous piece of red snapper. We've got a super fresh fish here. You can see that it doesn't look gray. The whites are still white. The eye is super clear and jiggly. It's not sunken into the body. The gills are nice. You know, a lot of people will tell you, smell the fish before you buy it. It's not always easy to do that. It's behind glass. But there are visual cues. I just gave them to you, and often that's enough. So let's add our fish right on top of some of this salt. Gorgeous. I think it's cool with the tail sticking out like that also. And now let's stuff it with herbaceous flavors, fresh thyme. So we'll go on the inside with that. Don't really have to be precious about this. Because the salt and the egg are going to solidify, anything that's in the cavity of the fish is gonna steam, it's gonna release its flavor. So placement, it's not super important. Fresh lemon, couple slices, you know, what'll fit in there? So we'll go like this. Up in here, up in the mouth, overlap it like that. Come in here. Lemon and fish, always a great idea. It looks like I'm only gonna be able to fit 3 today. That's okay. Just get it in there, nice and tight. And then we've got some bay leaves, which I always like. So we'll shove that in there. And that's it. No garlic, no onion, really clean flavors. Just try and let the fish be the fish. Now, let's cover this up. So we'll just start by packing it on right on top. In a lot of ways, this is like salting your pasta water. It's a lot more salt than actually you're gonna eat. Like way more. I like to leave the head and mouth, you know, visible. I think it looks good. Same thing with the tail. We're not gonna be eating that anyway, so. Close up that hole right there real good. And look at that, just like that, we used 4 cups of salt. Let's bring this right here and get this nice and tidy. And this looks really pretty. Hand wash and then into the oven. Fish goes in. Very exciting. Here we go. 425 degrees for about 30 minutes. We're making a feast, but that means everything needs to be served at once. I'm hungry now. So this is gonna count as one of the 7 fishes. It happens so quickly. Toasted bread. Get yourself a little piece. And I don't know if you've ever had this before, but butter on the bread, amazing combination. And be liberal with it, please. Yes, we're not stopping there. No, no, no. A single anchovy fillet. This is a real dish. Something like that. This is one of the most simple bites on the planet and one of the best. I'm in. Unbelievably good. Anchovy butter toast. Easy, delicious. It don't get any better than this. Back at it. Come on, look at that. Obviously, this looks really fantastic. Don't crack it open just yet. Make sure everyone's seated at the table because it is a show and they should all see that. We've got another dish. It's the pesce all'acqua pazza, which means fish in very crazy water. Time to bring some Italian holiday vibes to the table with Aqua pazza. Aqua pazza, crazy water. This has got to be one of the easiest ways to cook fish. Visualize it in your mind this way. Make a flavorful broth, poach fish in it for 5 minutes. That's it. Starting with an onion. All right, onion, olive oil. Coming into our hot pan. Beautiful. Anytime you're putting in an ingredient and you say to yourself, should I put more? Yeah, that's the crazy thing to do. Remember, we need a flavorful liquid. That's what we're going for. Let that go. Let's get some jalapeno. That sounds pretty crazy. And we're not gonna de-seed it, we're not gonna devein it, we're just gonna make a bunch of nice slices. And the sooner we put this in the oil, the hotter it will be. So my question to you is, how crazy are you feeling? Let's go. I am gonna rinse because I got some capsaicin on my hands. Garlic, garlic, garlic. All right, fish dishes. What do they mean to you? What do they mean to me? You know, when I think of the idyllic father-son summer afternoon, it is one of the 2 of them fishing together. And I have gone fishing with my dad before. We caught a striped bass. As long as it's over 26 inches, you're allowed to take it home, which we did. And then we cooked it. I actually ate raw sea bass crudo, and I'm still here. That's crazy. So anyway, this is for my dad, because that was a pretty crazy thing to do. Okay. Some garlic cloves, slice them real thin. Now, where does this name crazy come from? Came from fishermen in Naples, around that area, and they would catch the fish on the boat and then literally just take a giant scoop of the seawater, boat side, put it in the pan, boil it, maybe put some spicy stuff in there. And that was how they cooked the fresh fish of the day. They call it the crazy water because, I don't know, have you ever tried to eat ocean water? It is incredibly salty, but it's perfect for cooking fish and pasta in, no joke. Okay, so I'm looking for some browning here, and we're gonna come in with some bouillon. So the paste, the cube, just something to make it a little crazy, but also bring flavor. Because ultimately, that pazza, that crazy, that means flavor. So cook the fish in flavored water. Intense, salty, spicy, allium-y, all those things. Got my little spoon here. Move it around. Toasting up my bouillon. You know the brown bits that form on the bottom of the pan, which are caramelized bits of natural sugars that are on their way to being burnt, but we're not gonna let them get there, because then we're gonna hit them with a liquid to prevent them from burning, capturing them in their ideal state of deliciousness. Crazy? No, ideal. So I got some white wine. And now instantly, the pan, which was over 300 degrees Fahrenheit, has dropped down. And so now with that liquid, I can just scrape the pan, and look at that. It's all gone. So those little brown bits are now incorporated into our crazy water, increasing the awesomeness of flavor. I can understand if you don't want wine, you could put some water. That would do the same thing. It's really about releasing the stuff off the bottom. I got a bunch of cherry tomatoes. I'm gonna go like that. Very cool. So here's a fun little trick, because right now, if we cook it this way, the tomatoes are basically sous videing in their own skin, and then if you eat it, it will explode and burn your mouth. We don't want that. So I wanna pierce each tomato with the tip of my knife so they bleed a little bit. It's gonna be better. So we're literally just gonna go like this. And that's all you gotta do. Water. So I don't have Mediterranean seawater, but I do have salty, spicy, flavored water. Can we make it crazier? Yes. Calabrian chili paste. I love this stuff. I've gotten the peppers themselves. I find them to be not so great, but these pâtés that they make, lovely. They seem to be lacto-fermented, which gives them a really nice bright balance to the spiciness. So just mix that around. We've got some cod here, we're gonna salt it. It's a super mild fish, cooks very easily. It's really perfect to absorb all the crazy water flavor. Let's just see where we're at before we cook the fish. Make sure your water's crazy. Spicy, tomatoey, fantastic. Woo! All right, I'm gonna go salt side down on the fish here, right on top, so that way I can salt the other side. We will salt the other side as well. Okay. We're at a gentle simmer here. So now that both sides are seasoned, I'm gonna put the pretty side up, and it's been dabbed in a little bit of our sauce, which I think is a really nice touch. And I'm gonna let it cook this way. You'll know which side is the pretty side. Fantastic. Gorgeous. So now the top goes on as long as this is simmering. 5 glorious minutes have elapsed. Look at that. It's glorious. I got my parsley. I am literally just gonna go grandma style on it like this. Tender stems and all. The parsley not only gives a little bit of freshness to cut through all the craziness, but visually, it completes the Italian flag. Look at our tomatoes. We poked them with our knife. And because we did that, look at that. You see that? If we'd left them whole, that would not have happened. Another really interesting thing happens by leaving them whole and poking them, which is at the beginning of the cooking, the fish is totally steaming. And as the cherry tomatoes deflate, the steam turns into a poach braise, which is so cool. Anyway, here we are. Look at that. It's flaking apart gorgeously. So let's give it a little try here. Very hot, but delicious. So this is done, it's fantastic. I'm just gonna keep a lid on it, push it to the back, it'll stay warm. Up next, pasta con le sarde, because no feast is complete without something twirly. Time to switch things up with a festive Sicilian dish, pasta con le sarde. So I've got some panko breadcrumbs here. I like them just because they're really easy to find plain without any seasoning, which gives us an opportunity to make our own seasoned breadcrumbs. A little bit of red pepper flake. It's up to you how much. Some garlic. Dun, 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 dun. Some garlic. Okay. And some olive oil. So I'm making a seasoned breadcrumb for our pasta con le sarde. Sarde means sardines. And there are rules in the Italian kitchen. The main one being don't do fish and cheese. So our seasoned breadcrumbs are effectively our cheese. This goes on top, gives texture, gives flavor, fantastic. Looks good. Let's toast it up. So we'll come in once the pan is nice and hot. What's great about this is it holds for many, many days if you keep it in a little deli container after doing it. You definitely want to keep an eye on this because it goes from perfect to ruined quickly. I think this is a really cool dish. There's a lot of things going on. It's spicy, it's comforting, it's motherly. And so I think it's perfect because my mom's coming. This reminds me of her. It's a good dish. Once you start seeing the brown, it accelerates very quickly, like within 30 seconds. All right, toss, 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 and that is it. Okay, so get it off the heat immediately so they don't burn. This will last for like 7 to 10 business days, for sure. But we're gonna use it today. Okay, so look at that. Homemade seasoned breadcrumbs. The texture is better and the flavor is better. Put this over here. We're gonna get some fennel fronds here. And it took me a while to realize that if you just put raw fennel fronds on things, people tend to push it to the side. But if you blanch them, they just become a lot easier to eat, they're easier to cut. So I'm gonna take the fennel fronds and the tender stems, and we're gonna go right into this water. We're gonna lightly salt it. Pasta con le sarde has salty things in it, like anchovies and sardines. So we don't need to go heavy on the salt. And we're coming in parsley, fennel fronds, like that. Take a spider or something, submerge it, and really what we're trying to do is make the color pop and just get them to be a little bit softer. Once you feel everything softening, you're good. So I'll pull these out. That was like 45 seconds. All right, so we'll just let this cool for a second. So we'll take some garlic and just smash it a little bit. It helps pull this off. If you're having an extra hard time peeling the skin, you can always cut off the nubs on the end. Sometimes it breaks free, but these t-shirts look like they want to come off. And they are. Let's talk about cutting garlic. There's a root that goes through the center. When it gets a little too big, sometimes it's green, you definitely want to pull it out. But also, think about cutting it. A lot of times we cut with that root in the middle. If you go parallel to that root, you can eliminate that entire thing. Garlic looking good. Let's get this pan reheated a little bit because we're going to start cooking it, and now the onion. The best way to deal with this is to cut off the polar ice cap, cut off the Arctic ice cap, come through the North and South Pole down the middle, and then peel. And keep going. Olio di oliva, olive oil. Going in. You don't need much. The pan looks like it's already lubed up from the breadcrumbs, but you gotta have something. Pass it around, onions in, Just give them a second to sweat before you add the garlic. They'll protect the garlic from burning, which you definitely don't want. Here's our herbs. They're cool to the touch now. I'm gonna wring them out right over my pasta water. Squeezing the water out, you can do it over the sink, but like, why not try to get some herbaceous flavor into the water? And now look at what happened since we blanched the herbs. It's a tiny little cigar. And with this shape, we can chop it. All right, now our onions. I see some color, very nice. At this point, I'll add the garlic. And I think we should add some linguine too. The twirly pasta I think you should pick should be pretty robust. So you can go spaghettoni, you can go bucatini. Spaghetti would work. So let's get about a pound here. And as long as your pan is wide enough, you're good. Look at that. My favorite part of anchovies are the fact that they dissolve into a dish. This is every known as secret ingredient. Okay? I'm coming in with my flat spoon and I'm just gonna break up the anchovy a little bit. That should be enough to get it to start to dissolve. So I haven't hit the onions with any salt because the anchovy is the salt. Toasted pine nuts. And some raisins. The raisins will soak up a lot of moisture here, so this is one of those pasta dishes that really benefits from pasta water going in here, and the raisins are like, I want to be a grape again. Let them. Move it around so that the raisins start getting rehydrated a little bit. Everything is just brown and gorgeous. Let's slow that cooking process down, deglazing. White wine. Full blast. You can see how clean the pan is now. And that means that all those caramelized bits are incorporated into our sauce. Okay, I gotta get the sardines. It's the star of the show. 1, 2, 3, 4. And basically, what you gotta do is just take the spine out. Break it in half. You can see we got this little spine here. Sometimes it breaks apart, but for the most part, it comes out pretty easy. So I'm just kind of breaking it open like this. My Nana Doris taught me how to do this. She was a master spine puller. So I think we're good there. Let me wash my hands real quick. Let's see where we're at with the pasta. Whoops. Here's a fun thing. Everyone knows what al dente is, right? The step right before that, al chiodo. I like al chiodo. Coming up is our family favorite pasta dish, which my mom is helping me make perfect for our holiday feast. Ma, is that you?
Smells amazing.
My mom's here early to help put the finishing touches on our pasta con le sarde. Mom, you matched the pasta.
I think we're a little dry.
So what do you think? It's important to monitor the wetness here?
Yes.
How's that? Better?
Beautiful. Or you could have made less pasta.
I could have made less pasta, but you always tell me I never make enough pasta. Is this enough for you?
It looks great.
It looks good? You want to get your hands dirty?
Sure.
You want to throw those herbs in for me? You're right, you're doing it right. I would have been meat-handed. You're doing it so beautifully.
Amazing. Smells like fish and raisins.
Yeah. Raisins, pine nuts, anchovies.
Love it.
We're gonna put some sardines.
Are you breaking them when you toss?
It's a good question. I hadn't really put any thought into it. What would you do?
I'd
Like this, break them in half?
Yeah.
Like 1 square-inch pieces? How about a nice spoonful of that Calabrian chili paste there? You see that? How about some olive oil?
Sure.
A little oil.
It's gorgeous.
It is, right?
Absolutely gorgeous. Smells amazing. Pine nuts, raisins. Let's do it.
What do you think? I gotta be honest, I think I've got our menu for the 7 fishes like forever now.
Great.
And there's only like 3 hot dishes. All the other ones are cold.
We're done.
But no, we've got these breadcrumbs, which we're gonna do. But first, we're gonna put it in this bowl. Yes. Bada boom.
You needed me.
Yes, I need 2 more arms. Nice. Spread it around, yes. Oh, like this. Not done yet. You ready?
Ooh, how did you make those?
Panko breadcrumbs, food processor, garlic, red pepper, olive oil,
Nice, nice color.
a little salt. I feel like we need more of the Calabrian chili on top.
Okay.
Give it a dabble. All right, so open champagne?
I think I've had more experience than you
You have had more.
in this particular instance.
Cheers. I have a fork for you.
Oh,
I think you can go for it. Come on. High five.
10.
10. Thanks for helping me finish that.
My pleasure.
Let's get these plates on the table.
Okay. Andiamo, as they say.
Andiamo a tavola. Dai, mamma, andiamo. Oh man, how good does that look? Brava, Mom. Look at that. Pull it back. Come on, how gorgeous. So I thought it was kind of funny to do the dessert as Swedish fish because, you know, it's so much effort to get all these things to the table. It's kind of made up. I feel like it is a forced, random number that just makes everyone go crazy. That's why this one's cold, that's why that one's cold, that's why the little toast is cold. We're trying to make it easier. And I think it's totally okay if you buy something that someone else made, be it fish or shaped like fish.
And there's a lot of snow in Sweden.
Yes, there is. Thank you so much for helping. Do you know what that is?
Whitefish.
We've got the trout here, if you want to give this a try. Take some of the stuff. What a feast! We started with a smoked whitefish salad topped with a crispy everything bagel frico. Then came the Trout Scapece, full of brightness and tang, a holiday standout. It's a great experience. Our salt-baked red snapper stole the spotlight at the center of the table. At the same time, the Anchovy Butter Toast added a bold little bite for those that couldn't wait. Unbelievably good. Up next was the Aqua pazza, a fish gently simmered in a fragrant broth of tomatoes, garlic, white wine, and spices. It's crazy good. Very hot. And to make everything more special, my mom joined me in the kitchen to finish the holiday classic, pasta con le sarde. Oh, and the Swedish fish. That makes it 7 fishes. From my family to yours, Merry Christmas.